My name is Addy, and today I'm going to be giving a book review rather than doing a DIY or any art tutorials. So, just a little short disclaimer that whatever I say in this review is completely my opinion. You can either love it or hate it. So please don't attack me in the comments. Now, moving on to today's victim and our first book, which is The Fear Zone by Kiera Alexander. So, just looking at the cover gives you a very well idea of what this book may include, right? Does it? Yeah. It looks like the clown from It, and so definitely it's horror. Yes, you're correct about one thing and not the other. It's not the clown from It, and it is horror. So, this book is a very not so scary version of It, written for middle schoolers. So the synopsis of this book states that few kids are invited to a cemetery at midnight and they are asked to dig up a grave, which they do, and they unleash a force which takes the shape of their worst fears, which is a shark in the water or ocean. Does not matter, just water in general, a ghost in the walls, the fear of being buried alive, then a clown waiting in the woods, and there was one more, I think, a snake about to strike. Yeah. So this book actually is pretty nice for the age range it is directed towards, which is like 9 to 13. However, this book will not satisfy your need for a Stephen King level of horror. No, this book does not provide that kind of scary elements. It has very slight and tame. Okay, it is very tame. This book is very tame. So moving on to our characters, which is April, Deshaun, Kyle, Andre, and Caroline. So April and Andre are best friends. Caroline is the usual bestie turned bully over the summer kind of bully to April, and Deshaun and Kyle are best friends. So what I feel that the characters are the characters had a lot of potential. However, they could have been well developed by the author. April's friendship with Caroline is not well explored at all, which does not give us the scope for sympathizing for either April or Caroline. And the bullying of Caroline and April is only like one scene. There is only one scene where they bully each other, and then it just moves on. The story just moves on with a few like disapproving comments here and there by Caroline made on April. So moving on to Andre and April's friendship, it is well explored. I will say it's good. It's nicely explored, and there are few scenes where Andre sleeps over at April's house, which is completely fine by her mom, and April also has a little brother, I forgot to mention, but he is not included in the story that much. So yeah, it's just a backdrop. So that's the thing. Andre and April's friendship is still clearly visible throughout the story. They stand up for each other. However, Kyle and Deshaun's one is a bit more on the protective side, like the protective kind of friendship, which is because Deshaun's dad especially is not that nice. It's not that nice. And there's this one part in the book which is like just makes me think. So Deshaun comes home late in this part of the book. Deshaun comes home late and his dad is already like he has already returned from work, and he's asking him that where was he throughout the entire day, and Deshaun does not give a appropriate answer to his standards, like to his dad's standards. So his dad's like, no dinner for you, no nothing for you, and you're gonna clean the snake tank. Yes, they have a literal snake tank in their house, and Deshaun is clearly scared of the snakes, and his dad is still like, yeah, you gotta clean them. First question, why would you keep a snake tank in the in the house where there's a kid. I mean, not a kid probably by age, but there's a child. There's your child, and also that's your stepdad. So that's again very cliche because not all stepdads, not all stepmoms are bad. So April's mother is pretty nice. We don't have a lot of family drama from April's side, and we do not get to see Andre's parents or anything from his behalf. Like, not that much at all. Then Kyle's. So Kyle has loving parents. It's not like there is anything bad about his parents. There's only a few scenes we get to see them, and that's it. That's the family thing for all of them. Now Caroline's. It's Caroline's, I forgot. So Caroline has lost her mother, like uh, over the summer, I think. She has lost her mother, and her relationship between her and her dad is not explored at all. It is left in the open, and the grieving of losing her mother is also not at all well mentioned in the book, which again makes me feel like the characters could have been developed a bit more emotionally, and makes us seem that Caroline is just genuinely mean, and she's like trying to find some reason to just bully everyone around her, which is not the case, I feel, while reading it. So yeah, that's one thing which is cliche, that yeah, someone loses a parent and then they go on and bully. That's it for the family part. That's it. Now Caroline's POVs, yeah, it is split into like 5 POVs over the whole book, and we mostly get April's POVs as she is the main character. However, Caroline's POVs are very short-lived. It's like less than half of the page, and we have to be really focused when reading her POVs because they just come, push, done. That's it. Now, for the part which makes me a bit uncomfortable reading the book and a bit frustrated also, it makes me surprised because after Halloween, the first scene was of Halloween where the kids were trick-or-treating. Yeah. So Andre and April were like unwrapping the things in the locker the next day at school, and they find a slip which had made me in the graveyard or else at midnight or else. That was written on the slip of paper, and April was like, this must be a prank. It's stupid. And Andre was like, yeah, it's a prank and we should go. I mean, I understand you would want to go to the cemetery at midnight. I don't know why, but probably you would because Halloween just passed. It could have been a stupid prank. So they decide to go, and they meet Kyle and Deshawn there. They don't know it. The friend group of those two don't know the other two that well because they read in the same school, but they're like acquaintances. Now the grave, one of the grave has been vandalized by someone, and it was written that dig me or something. It was like dig the grave. It was basically instructing them. So what would you expect? Not to dig the grave, right? They would return because digging a grave is practically vandalism and is also very disrespecting. No, they dug the grave thinking it was a stupid prank. Like, it could have been someone's real grave and it could have been just vandalized. They did not think about that. They just dug the grave and they found a little tin box. So now Caroline comes in the graveyard scene. Apparently she also got the slip of paper, and there was a note with a nickname only her dad used for her, which also creeps her out. She takes in the tin box and she opens it. That's the thing. Like, why would you dig someone's grave? That's what you get for digging a grave. Like digging someone where someone was resting. You dug it up. Pretty much driven from like It by Stephen King, because you know, children fighting their fears, and an evil clown is like watching them, which also has red eyes and a white face with something that runs up and down his eyes, which is also red, and a painted red smile with a balloon. Does that sound similar? Yes, maybe. No, yeah, probably. So that's the thing. It's very plot driven from it, and I could not enjoy it after watching the movie by Steve, like the movie of Pennywise and the other kids. After watching it and reading this, I could not enjoy it at all because I felt like, of course, in the end, something nice will happen, which it does. Which it does actually. The kids defeat the clown with the help of love and friendship, which just ruins the entire terror you've been setting out throughout the entire 280th page of the book, and you just finish it in the last 10 pages. Like, doesn't that sound very cliche? And like, that ending is just not it, it's not sufficient. Yeah, it's not just sufficient for that whole thing. Okay, so that's one thing. And as I said, underdeveloped people, underdeveloped feelings, it does not feel like the character itself is talking in the POV. It feels like more of a inside voice which the author injects into the story. And well, that's just reading a self acclaimed POV from the author, which is again, like, you could have just made it one POV throughout the entire book then, because all of them inside voices sound very familiar. Like, you could not say the difference between Deshaun and Kyle's if you did not read the heading in the front page. That's it. That's all I have to say for this book. Overall, this book is really nice for the age range it is directed towards. And if you like something very tame but still in the horror genre, you can definitely read this book. It also has a second part, but I did not want to read it because I was very underwhelmed by this book. So I'll give it a solid 6 out of 10. It's good. It's good for people who like tame stories, still about ghosts, still related to ghosts. And that's it about this book. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and more will be coming soon. Thank you and thanks for watching. Stay safe. Take care. Bye.